I think the issue that we're running into is having too many people in one place at one time. There's a lot of places where it's very narrow to get in and it's very narrow to get out. And we've had a couple instances, I know, during this search where it's been hard we have too many people in one place and units are on top of each other trying to get in and out.
That was Rand Champion with the Arkansas Department of Corrections giving an update this afternoon on the search for escaped inmate Grant Hardin, former Northwest Arkansas police chief who was serving a prison sentence for a deadly shooting that happened in Benton County. He escaped from the North Central Unit there in Calico Rock. Investigators believe a corrections officer opened the gate for Hardin. This is a photo from the surveillance footage of Hardin during that escape. In today's news conference, the Department of Corrections confirmed that's the last surveillance video they have of him. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer has been in Calico Rock the past couple of days, has the latest now from investigators.
It'll be around the clock until further notice.
Authorities shared Wednesday afternoon that the search effort will remain aggressive and well-resourced.
Any and all leads that we are getting have been followed up on. Unfortunately, none of those have come to fruition yet.
We did get some answers to the questions we had, like the makeshift uniform Hardin escaped in. He tailored it to look like a law enforcement officer's.
Everything that he was wearing is not a standard issue inside this facility. It is not there's no inmate uniform that looks like that. There's no officer uniform that looks like that.
Despite hundreds of law enforcement officers on the ground manning checkpoints like this one up the road or flying helicopters, Hardin still remains on the run. Authorities aren't sharing exact details of how he escaped the prison or if he had any help, but they do believe he's still nearby.
Has expanded over the last 72 hours, but with all the resources and the different agencies that we have, they feel confident that the perimeter we have right now is wide enough to make sure that we can try and track him down.
With a somewhat challenging terrain, they're using helicopters, drones, K-9 units, and ground teams.
It's not a flat open area. There's a lot to cover and there's a lot to look into.
The search will continue. ADC says they're following every lead that comes in.
We're not ruling out anything at this point. And that's part of that investigation and making sure that we have all those questions answered.
In Calico Rock, covering news where you live, Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
We're also getting insight on Hardin's escape from an international security consultant with 46 years of experience in the industry. Carl De La Guerra says an extensive background in law enforcement makes Hardin that much more cunning and that much more dangerous. It's likely how he's been able to stay hidden this long. That's why he believes Hardin is still likely hiding in some of the rugged terrain outside of the North Central Unit in Calico Rock. He says, though, it's only a matter of time before police catch up with him.
There's a mathematical formula where you would know exactly how far someone can move on foot. So that's a perimeter that has been set up. More than likely, multiple perimeters have been set up in the area. And then it's just a meticulous search through all that area there to look for areas where the size of one man could possibly be hiding.
Once again, here's another look at pictures that police have shared with us. You can find the photos and all of our coverage and follow updates on the manhunt on our free 5 News smartphone app, also our website, 5newsonline.com. New at 10 tonight, the president has pardoned a former Arkansas state lawmaker. According to CBS News, Jeremy Hutchinson received that pardon today. He was convicted on bribery-related charges and was sentenced to 4 years in prison. That was 2 years ago. He is the son of former U.S. Senator Tim Hutchinson and he's the nephew of former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson. 2 Washington County firefighters are accused of stealing more than $8,000 from the city of Johnson. City of Johnson's now former fire chief Chance Wright and Springdale firefighter Brian Copeland have both turned themselves in to police. Copeland is on administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation. Wright is accused of putting Copeland on the Johnson Fire Department payroll for hours that officials say Copeland never worked. Investigators accuse both men of pocketing that money.
Basically, for several months, the better part of the last year, Chief Wright was using payroll money to pay Brian Copeland when Brian Copeland, in fact, wasn't earning that money. It was discovered by other fire department members in Johnson seeing a time card with Brian Copeland's name on it, and some times that they worked and they knew Brian and they knew that he wasn't working at that time.
Wright's charges include abuse of office and theft of property, which are Class C felonies. Copeland has one charge of theft of property. Now, if they found guilty, they could face up to 10 years in prison. Video voyeurism suspect Richard Copeland in court today. Copeland pled not guilty to the charges, also refused to sign his arraignment papers. He was arrested after a hidden camera was discovered in the restroom of a Springdale business. He is due back in court sometime in August. The founder of a Springdale-based nonprofit was also in court today. He's facing new charges related to allegations he stole money from donors. Jason Carney and his wife Lacey were first charged in an indictment filed in January. A new indictment filed this month increases the number of charges he faces now to 20. They're both accused of using hundreds of thousands of dollars donated to their organization to fund their personal travel and buy luxury items. Second Milk was created in 2015 with the goal of using donations to help malnourished infants in Africa. They're both set to go on trial in September. A mother of three has been missing for more than 2 weeks now. Joynelle Brandon has not been seen or heard from since May 15th. Maya Ellison brings us an update on the search and how the Morgan Nick Foundation out of Alma is helping to bring attention to this case.
We are looking for you. I want you to know that we won't stop. We will not stop. Day and night, 24 hours, we will not stop.
That was Markesia MJ Johnson. It has been 15 days since she's seen her mother, Joynelle Brandon. According to Pine Bluff Police, Brandon was reported missing on Tuesday, May 13th. She was last seen on University Avenue.
When she left, she last had on black leggings, a black and gold blouse that's striped, vertically striped, with black Puma shoes.
The family says there have been no reported sightings of Joynelle since she was reported missing. THV-11 reached out to Pine Bluff Police for any updates. In a statement given to THV-11, the department says, quote, detectives are working diligently on this case. But social media users in Central and Southeast Arkansas say they want to see more action.
We have to fight for missing women. They don't just simply disappear into thin air.
Colleen Nick, founder and CEO of the Morgan Nick Foundation, has devoted her time to educate and support those impacted by missing persons cases for decades. They were one of the first organizations to highlight Joynelle Brandon's disappearance.
Last year in the state of Arkansas, the Morgan Nick Foundation had 1,500 cases of missing persons that came through here.
Statistics for April from the Arkansas Department of Public Safety show 405 missing person reports. 151 of the missing are women.
And that's a target population.
Nick tells me to combat these numbers, the first step starts with keeping their story alive.
Missing adults don't tend to get media coverage. They're just not deemed critical. There are lots of us on the outside, lots of nonprofits, lots of search and rescue groups, you guys, the media, who are highlighting these cases and bringing the importance back.
She also notes that sharing information on social media helps, but be mindful of false information.
People are worried, they're scared, and rumors come up, but getting back to the facts and focusing on the facts, that's what helps find missing persons.
That was Maya Ellison reporting. The Crawford County Sheriff running for re-election. Sheriff Daniel Perry announced his plans to seek another term this evening. Perry has served in the position since 2023. He ran unopposed in the last general election after winning a runoff for the Republican nomination.